All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know the deal. You know the vibes when you see this face to the right of me in this lovely studio. Mike Moss, play-by-play voice of the Fort Wayne TinCaps, has joined us for another heartwarming edition of TinChattin. Mike, I was all prepared to talk about a winning streak, all the momentum the TinCaps had with the 4-game win streak, and then yesterday happened, my friend. 2 games up in Comstock Park, Michigan against the West Michigan Whitecaps. And in those 2 games, the TinCaps managed just a combined 2 hits. The second game, they get no hit for the first time since 2018. And ultimately, the 4-game winning streak is snapped. And now you're dealing with a 2-game losing skid going into Friday.
Let's rewind a little bit.
You want to go back to the good stuff?
We're going to go back to some of the good stuff.
That's fair.
The fact that
I'm too negative sometimes.
Let's go back to the tail end of the 12-game homestand in the 6-game series with Lake County. Let's talk about that first, because the TinCaps were not playing very well after losing 5 in a row to Great Lakes. And then you lose 2 of the first 3 games to Lake County in the homestand. So at one point they had lost 8 out of 9, but then they come back and they won 3 of the last 4 on last Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. They did lose on last Friday night. So they win 2 in a row, and they win 3 out of 4 to finish the homestand. So now they have a little better taste in their mouth. Tuesday morning, they made the bus ride up to suburban Grand Rapids, and lo and behold, they win game 1 of what is a 7-game series. And in game 2, and behind Matt Waldron, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about him a little later. But again, so now all of a sudden, as you say, a 4-game winning streak, 5 out of 6. Things are looking good. And then came yesterday being Thursday. And the TinCaps couldn't buy a base hit, be it on eBay or any place else. And ironically, and we briefly talked about this before we started taping the segment, yes, they got 2 hits yesterday in game 1, and they lost 5-0. The first of those 2 hits came the first batter of the game, Chris Given, got a base hit. And who would have thought that for the next 13-plus innings that they'd only get 1 more base hit? Nobody thought that.
Yeah, so the roller coaster ride continues for the TinCaps, but that's baseball for you, Mike. And as they say, momentum is only as good as the next day's starting pitcher. And on that note, the TinCaps certainly wish Matt Waldron could take the bump every single day for him with the way he's pitched this season. Really, outside of 2 bad starts in the month of June, he's been outstanding all year long, and that was on full display earlier this week. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no runs earned in a win against West Michigan. He was spectacular.
Add one other little element to that outstanding performance. He picked 3 base runners off base in that game. I can't recall the last time I've seen one pitcher
it's a lost start.
In one game pick off 3 runners. And Matt did that. And he's also the only guy that I know that throws 6 different pitches, and he can throw all of them for strikes, including the knuckleball, which is the newest pitch that he has learned to throw in competition.
Yeah, so Matt Waldron, speaking of the 6 pitches and the knuckleball, Matt Waldron is our guest in TinChattin this week. We discussed the knuckleball, we discussed the 6 pitches, and his upbringing in the game of baseball, growing up in the great state of Nebraska. We'll start first and foremost with your start the other night. Obviously, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. 8 innings, 4 hits, I believe, no earned runs. What made you so effective out there the other night?
I thought the first couple innings were a little tougher, but like as the game got on, I just got more confident in throwing the pitch and just working ahead and trying to stay ahead and working with my catcher has been like the biggest thing. Just like making it like a smaller game and just me and the catcher and the batter and just put it in there.
Yeah. Is that generally, I mean, for the most part this year, I think you've only had like 1 or 2 starts that haven't really gone right for you, but is that in general what's been working for you all season, or what has allowed you to have the kind of success in your first year in the Padres organization?
Just mainly taking it day to day and enjoying the process and realizing that if you have a bad day, you can still come out the next time. And it's just a long season, and knowing and trusting what you do each day has been the best thing.
Yeah. So obviously you spent your first year, got drafted by the Indians. You get traded to the Padres as part of the Clevenger deal. I guess what was your reaction when they told you you were traded, and how have you kind of adjusted to life with the Padres organization?
Yeah, I was very surprised. I had no idea it was coming, and I actually got a message from my older brother Mark that somebody on his softball team had found out, and that was, and then they messaged him, and then he messaged me. So it was kind of a long way, but eventually it was exciting and just a new chapter, and I felt valued when that happened, and I just want to prove myself.
You're obviously a guy in an era where it seems like more and more pitchers are kind of using the method of trying to keep it simple and only throw one or two pitches that they like. You obviously are kind of an old school in terms of you throw a little bit of everything and have a variety of pitches. Walk us through your arsenal of different pitches that you can make and kind of how you developed that over the years.
So first off, just four-seam fastball. Interestingly, this year, like I started to work more with the knuckleball, and that's just like it's hard to describe, but it's a pitch like that doesn't produce a lot of spin, so the movement's a little more like sporadic. And then I got slider right now. I do have a changeup and curveball, but the way the pitch mix has been going, it's been mainly fastball, knuckleball, slider. That's been the most effective.
So obviously, knuckleball is probably the most unique of all the pitches that you mentioned. You don't see a lot of knuckleballers these days. When did you start throwing it, and how did you kind of develop that pitch?
So I started throwing it kind of jokingly this spring training. Like I had always like messed around with it a little bit. I've got a twin brother, so him and I would kind of throw it back and forth, and never ever competitively. And then this year I threw it, and I'm just like, with all like the Rapsodo data, it's kind of exciting to see like how much it spins. So like I just threw it up there once, and it was about 500 or something, which is really low, and it slowly made its way into being the percentage being thrown much more often.
So you grew up in Omaha, correct?
Yep.
I'm guessing it's as a baseball fan, it's probably hard not to fall in love with baseball in Omaha, given obviously its role in college baseball. No.
Oh no, it definitely factored in, and I didn't really realize that until after. It's just when you're in that environment, you're always surrounded with it, and the College World Series is exciting for sure.
Another great guest in TinChattin. Our thanks to Matt for taking some time in his hotel room up in Comstock Park, Michigan, or whatever suburb they're in up there around Grand Rapids. And Mike, good chance we see Matt on the mound Tuesday night when the TinCaps return home to Parkview Field to take on the Dayton Dragons.
And if he does make the start Tuesday night, all indications are that he would start in the series finale on Sunday afternoon. And we're happy that Ethan Elliott got the promotion to Double-A San Antonio. And obviously he was the ace of the staff at the beginning of the year, pitcher of the month in the month of May in the league. But Matt Waldron has come on like gangbusters. And right now I think we can consider him the ace of the staff. And I think the fact that he's throwing the ball well, he's going to be at home where the fans are now able to come in mass to Parkview Field. And I think if Anthony Contreras does do what we think he'll do, he will pitch him not once but twice against Dayton coming up next week, and enhancing the chances for TinCap victories.
Yeah, so a chance for the fans at Parkview Field to see Waldron pitch hopefully twice next week. Final home series for the month of July. Final chance for a lot of the parents out there, kids going back to school in the month of August. So bring the kids out to Parkview Field one more time before school starts, because after this homestand, Mike, they're on the road for 12 straight.
12 games in 13 days, starting a week from Tuesday, going up to Lansing to take on the Lansing Lugnuts, and then the Monday traditional day off, and then a rematch with the Great Lakes Loons up at Dow Diamond in Midland, Michigan.
That is my man, Mike Moss, fresh off a 37 in 9 holes at Eel River out in Churubusco this morning. Well played by you this morning, sir, and appreciate you swinging by the studio as always.
Always enjoy it, Peter.
That's Mike Moss. Again, my name's Peter Hood. Again, appreciate you joining us for TinChattin this week, and we'll be back same time, same place next Friday night.